Well, good day, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 144, Wholesale Real Estate Investing number 144. Change the title again because I think it's something that will attract better. Anyway, I just want to say welcome to everybody. This is a beautiful, glorious day, and it is going to be a great day. Why? Well, because every day is a great day. It's Freedom Friday for one, Hawaiian Shirt Day for two. Hawaiian shirts give me a feeling of freedom. And, every day can be a great day if you choose to make it a great day. That's really what it all comes down to. If you want it to be a great day, it's going to be a great day. And I'm just so very grateful to be alive today, to be breathing, to be pretty darn healthy. I'm grateful for, even though, what is that? Oh, yeah. uh, I'm grateful for being pretty darn healthy, even though I'm just only a few weeks away from being offered discount meals at the restaurants. But that's good. You know what? I'm actually feeling healthier now than I probably have in the last 20 years. Now, 20 years ago, if you would have asked me, I would have told you that I'm really healthy, feeling good and strong. Because at that point in time, yeah, that would have been, kind of prime in my life. But in reality, looking back at what I was doing to my body at that point in time and what I was not doing to my body at that point in time, yeah, I'm way healthier now than I was then. So, in more ways than one, I mean, in what I eat, in what I consume, and in what I do, as far as, exercise and being physical, just way healthier. Probably, quite honestly, I might be the healthiest I've been in my entire lifetime right now. But that's another story. I am kind of going off on being grateful today because, having gratitude is a very powerful part of, being successful and attracting good things into your life. And I'm very grateful, for a business that's affording me to, soon to be able to do anything that I want, to have, be, and do everything that I want. It's a business that I've been growing for some time. It is, this real estate business right here, and, this program that we have developed, the Property Noodlers program. And why do we call it the Property Noodlers program? Well, because we don't we don't sit on the side of the river or the lake and, put a little bait on a hook and throw it out there and wait for somebody to buy it. You ever seen those guys that do that catfish noodling where they jump in the river and they stick their fist down the throat of a catfish and they pull it out of there and throw it up on the shore? Well, that's how we get our deals. We jump in the river and we stick our fist right down the throat of a deal and we yank it out of the hole and throw it up onto the shore. You know, most wholesalers, most wholesale companies, like I said, what they do is, they throw their bait out in the water, and, the bigger they get, obviously, they get bigger hooks, they get better bait. Maybe they actually switch over to, bait casting with a net, so that they're throwing their net out there and they're dragging their net in and they're throwing away a bunch of crap and they're pulling out a good fish here and there. So that's kind of what wholesaling is. And noodling, like I said, is just jumping right in there and shoving your fist right down the throat of a deal and yanking it out. So that's why we call it the property noodler system. But so I'm grateful to have made a transition in a very short period of time. And that's just, the power that the property noodler systems can give you too, is I've made a transition from, foreman of a paving company, not knowing anything about real estate, really, wholesaling or investing, any of that stuff. And since I really began into this, it's probably, I would say it's really been 9 years, but the first 5 of them, no, 8 years, but the first 4 of them, the first half was just kind of random experimentation that I really had no clue what I was doing, and not necessarily no clue what I was doing in the business side of it, but no clue what I was doing in the knowledge and the creation and the self-building side of it, building myself to be a person of success. So it was kind of like, at that point in time, it's kind of like, there's a statistic that is staggering about the number of people that never read a single book in their life post high school. And even the number post college is a staggering number, because we get all this information in us and we think, hey, that's it, I know it all. But in this real estate thing that I was doing, so that first 4 years was sort of like me going to school. I was just getting a bunch of information in me that I was going to need for the latter half. But in the latter half, what I discovered is that if I really wanted success, it was all about me learning and growing and changing. And once I got a hold of that idea and started actually applying those concepts about changing myself into the type of person who can actually handle success, who can be successful, that's when the success started coming. Sort of like school. You go to school, you gather all that information into your head. I'm not even going to call it knowledge. You gather all that information into your head, but it's the education that people get after school, the knowledge that they gather in their own personal development and self-development, in learning about themselves and how to make themselves into the type of person who can be successful. Those are the ones who go on to achieving great things. The ones who never pick up a book, those are the ones who wallow in the mire. They might even come out of college having a great job as, a doctor, an attorney, an accountant, whatever, something like that. But without that additional knowledge and education, they're basically stuck where they are, running the rat race around in the circle, chasing their paychecks, having to go to work day in and day out, thinking they're living the good life because they have a nice car and a big house and they get to go on vacation once a year for 5 days. But if they stop working, all of that goes away. And that's the thing that they miss. And building yourself into the kind of knowledgeable person who can start understanding that transition from workaday man to successful man, that's where the difference lies. And I really want to put a point out here that anybody can do this at any time, and I'm living proof of that, because I ran around my younger years all the way up until, like I said, about 45, when I started thinking along this way. And not really until age 51 that I actually got my hands on the real knowledge that I needed. But I was open. But the thing is, once I got my hands on that knowledge, I could have very easily been like, what a bunch of hokey BS, That's like, stars and astrology and all these, goofy things. But I looked at this stuff and it made sense because I opened my mind to it and I thought about it. That was all it took. All I had to do was open my mind to it and think about it, not just piss it off as BS, hokey, hokey pokey, but just saying, okay, wow, that's something new. Never seen that before. I kind of had seen it before, but that's different. I've never really looked at it before. And so let me take a look at it. Maybe it's something that is real, that is truth. And so I started looking at it. And sure enough, the more I looked at it, the more it started making sense. And the more it started making sense, the more I wanted to look at it. And the more I looked at it, the more I started to figure out how to apply it. And the more I applied it, the more I started to see a difference. The more I started to see a difference, the more I wanted to learn about it and apply more about it. You see that ball rolling there? That's what it's all about. I spoke, I don't know, maybe on New Op Day, maybe last session, I don't know, but I was speaking about, there is no such thing as overnight success or an overnight sensation. And that's the truth. What I just mentioned right there, that's how everything starts. Your business starts that way. Like I said, the famous person starts that way. They hone their skills. They focus. They get some new information. They look at it. They process it. They expand upon it. They add more to it, and they build and they build and they build. And nobody knows you while you're doing that stuff. It's not until all of a sudden one day when sort of it all just sort of comes together, and then all of a sudden that's when you are an overnight sensation. That's when you have instant success. That's what the public perception is as to how it happened. That's what the public perception is, and that's what they see is all of a sudden, boom, this person has burst onto the scene. Well, this person hasn't just burst onto the scene. They've been right there in and around the scene. They've been in the shadows and making a little bit of appearance here, but they were nothing memorable. They were nothing that anybody recognized. They nothing that anybody even ever looked at. They didn't even see these people, slinking around, doing their thing and gathering information and learning and growing until all of a sudden one day, boom, here they are showing up in a tuxedo going, I made it, just like that. Or they didn't make it just like that. But anyway, so I just want to say, again, how grateful I am to have this business and be putting it now, taking it now into a position where I can help others get into this business and achieve the same kinds of things. That's awesome. It is so powerful and fun and exciting. I'm actually meeting with someone today who's interested in joining the team. I can't wait to have that meeting. I met with someone just a couple days ago who basically, has now pretty much joined the team. We're getting them going here. It's just really exciting to see these guys coming in, these people coming in, guys and gals coming in, and not knowing anything, but wanting it. And that's what it's all about, is just the wanting it. And same thing with the information, the knowledge that I'm talking about. All you got to do is want it and just open your mind to saying that I want it. Now, problem here is you've had your mind closed since school when you said, okay, I know everything there is to know. I don't need to know anymore. So in order for you to open your mind, that steel trap, it's not going to be easy. That thing's heavy. It's all rusted up. You might have to beat on it with a sledgehammer a few times, break it in rust. And there's going to be some work just to get that door to start opening. And you got to get some oil on there. But once you start getting that thing cracked open, it's going to get easier and easier. So, so again, I'm grateful for the ability to share this business with people too. That's a great thing. And with others who want this opportunity. And this one you might find kind of strange. I'm really grateful for the crash of 2007 and 8. And you might be saying, what are you talking about? How could you be grateful for, quite honestly, the worst recession this country, the worst depression this country's ever seen. Yeah, you know what? I don't care what they say. This depression was worse than the Great Depression of the 1930s, okay? My opinion, take it for whatever you want, but I think it was worse. It's hurt people a lot worse and for a lot longer. There is no recovery after this one is the problem. That's why it's worse, and that's why it's the worst one ever. There was recovery, there was potential back then. Now, we've kind of maxed it out, and it's really sucking, and it's going to suck for some time. But that's another story too for Freedom Friday. So, but why am I grateful for this crash? And obviously, I'm not grateful so much for the turmoil, and this economic turmoil that, it's caused this country and, quite honestly, the world. But, what I'm grateful about it for is for really giving me my, what we call around here, the DM, your DM, which is your defining moment. And that is the day, the hour, the minute, the second that you flip the switch. You put your foot down, you say, you know what, that's it. I am done with that. I'm not doing that anymore. That it's got me nowhere. It sucks. Everything about that. I need something new. I got to start doing something new. I'm going to apply myself and I'm going to make it happen. That's a defining moment. You could probably ask anyone who is successful if they've ever had a defining moment. And many people have had several defining moments, because success comes in chunks and in different levels and things like that. So, you may have a defining moment that takes you to a certain level where you plateau out for years, or maybe it takes you to a certain level and then you crash out of there. Whatever the case is, you may have another defining moment that, allows you to accelerate to another level. So many people have, multiple defining moments, but for those who, such as myself, basically, I've had some defining moments, lesser defining moments, I would say. I haven't had another big defining moment such as what I'm talking about here after the crash, but it's the point in time when, like I said, you flip that switch and make up your mind that you're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And that's really what it's all about. It's all about you up here making the conscious decision to do it. That's all it takes. Now, what are you going to do? That's like the next level. Okay, I'm going to do it. What is it I'm going to do, right? So the next thing is you have to find your definite, chief aim, your major purpose, however you want to call it, but you have to find your direction. You have to be clear about it. You have to make a decision, which is something that, you've probably had a very hard time with in your life prior to that. Making decisions is something that unsuccessful people just don't do. They wishy-washy back and forth, never make a decision, can't decide, whatever you think, oh, I'll do whatever you want to do, those kinds of people, which I was one of those people. I was big time one of those people. What do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't care. What do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to do? But that was me, I never made decisions. I pawned every decision off, and making decisions of, sorry, I got a little pepper tickle in my nose from my testosterone on toast. For those of you who don't know what testosterone on toast is, it's avocado on toast. I don't know, read something somewhere where avocado is high in testosterone. So just jokingly, I love avocado on toast with a little salt and pepper, and I call it testosterone on toast now. So anyway, but for those people who are able to, make that transition into getting somewhere and being successful, I lost my train of thought there. I do that all the time. If I change subjects, I'm gone. So anyway, the defining moment. Making that decision about doing it. And as I said, then finding your definite goal, your definite chief aim. What is it that you really want to do? And, if you aren't having a defining moment, one way to create a defining moment for yourself, if you don't have external forces pushing you down so far that you just can't take it anymore, but you're in that place where, God, this is just too much. Something's got to happen, right? If you're in that kind of a position, a way to create a defining moment for yourself is to actually start developing your chief aim or your definite major purpose. And a way to do that is to think back. What is it that you, as a young person, as a child even, growing up, what did you always want? What did you always want to do? What made you happy back then? We should all really be children at heart, and be living the life, the lifestyle, the dream, the goals that we had as children, that we always wanted to be and do. And I always wanted to be a traveler and all of that, and see everything in this world and experience all the animals on this planet and do all that sort of thing. And and that's something that I started to do some of at a young age, but then I lost that over time, and I've lost the ability to do that. At a certain time, I had lost it, and I'd lost it completely. And really, when I had totally lost it completely, and I was seeing there was no possible chance of it ever happening, that was when I hit my defining moment. So if you start focusing upon, what it is, getting some clarity about what it is that you really, really in your heart want to do, that can help you create a defining moment. Because at some point in time, the desire to have the joy of what you could have if you had or were doing or whatever that you really wanted will grow so big that it'll just push out what it is that's holding you back and holding you down and creating that situation where you're trapped in right now, and you won't care. And even though you won't care, and you might do something a little bit stupid, a little bit crazy, it might really actually, turn your life upside down, create a struggle. It did for me. And I'm getting out of it now. The struggle's getting easier, but yeah, it created a whole change in everything. But it's worth it. And if you and then obviously then comes the next most difficult part, probably the most difficult part, is to experience what you've just thrust yourself into, a complete change, quite possibly, turmoil as far as, even finances, relationships. I mean, turmoil on potentially every level, and people looking at you like you're crazy and telling you you're an idiot, and a lot of naysaying, and people that want you to go back to, if that's probably the hardest thing to do, is to get through all the outside forces that want you back into what you just said I'm done with. And quite honestly, most people give in to those forces. So the really, really hard part starts to come now, after the defining moment, after the establishment of clarity of your definite purpose. Now comes the application and the being able to block out all the negativity and stay focused. That's where the difficult part comes. But if you can get through that, if you can get through that most difficult time of everything being, and you're going to have a feeling of everything and everybody being against you, of things not working. I mean, they said to do this, and I did this, and nothing happened. And you're going to run into a lot of that. What you will find, though, is very quickly, right in the beginning, you will see a reward. If you just, put in some effort and you stick with it, even for just a short period of time, you'll see a reward. You will be gifted with a reward for what you've done, to show you, say, hey, this is what you were thinking about. This is what you wanted. This is what you could have. Check it out. We're going to give you a little piece of that. And hopefully that's enough to just light that fire so strong that it'll never go out again and keep you going. But this is where it gets even harder because now that you've had a little taste of it, now it's like, okay, you said you wanted this. We're going to show you what it's like, give you a taste, give you an experience of it. But now you're going to have to prove to yourself, to everyone, that you really, really do want it. Because now it's going to get even harder than it was before to experience that one little taste, that one little measure of, your dream. And if you really, really want it, like I said, hopefully that taste will be enough to ignite that fire so big that there's no way that the largest monsoon could ever put it out. That you'll be down there freaking, with your hand over the last little spark in that fire pit, just keeping that thing dry and going until the monsoon stops, and you can start putting a few little pieces of grass back on there and get a flame going, then add some twigs and some sticks and start building that fire again. Because that's what it'll be like. It'll be like, hey, sunshiny day, beautiful, here you go. Here comes the monsoon for days. And you got to keep that fire lit. And then all of a sudden, keep that fire lit. You work diligently enough to keep that fire lit. And then all of a sudden the sky opens up and it starts, the clouds, a little ray of sunshine comes down and things get dried out and you're able to start putting that thing together. And that's when you really realize what's going on here. At first you're just kind of bullheaded going into it and just like, I don't know what's going on, but I know this is what I got to do, and blah 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 blah. And you're just doing. I got some information. I'm throwing that information out there. How's it work? This is doing that. This is doing this, and you got no idea what's going on until all of a sudden, like I said, the sky opens up and you're able to get that flame going again. And once you have that flame going again, and you got a couple of twigs on there, and you got a little, even just a little fire. You get 1 second to step back, take a breath, and go, wow, it's going. It's really happening. All of this that I've been doing is making sense to me now. I have a chance to see how this goes. You're like, yeah, I got to get a few sticks on here, build this up a little bit. Then I got to go get some firewood, because I want to build this thing big, so that's kind of what it's like. And like I said, being grateful for the journey of getting to that point, to where I am right now with this business, and being able to offer the property noodler system out to people and help other people to come in and do that. And for me to be able to, maybe even be there when the monsoon hits and say, you know what, oh, man, here, you've been working hard, but let me hold this umbrella over you for a few minutes while you make sure that little ember doesn't go out, and I can hold this umbrella here for you for a little bit. Okay, cool, you're good. I got some things to take care of, but I'll check on you again, come back and go, wow, that thing's about out here. Having somebody hold an umbrella over you in a monsoon, even if for just 10 minutes to keep your fire going, how would that feel? That's what our system is all about. We are the umbrella. But I don't know. It's Freedom Friday. Like I said, gratitude is a big thing. I'm very, very, very grateful for, everything. The knowledge that's been presented to me, the power that's been given to me to open my mind and be accepting to this knowledge, the wisdom to be able to take this knowledge and verify it and quantify it and apply it and test it, and take what's no good and toss it away, and take what's good and use it, and just being able to discern between what are the true facts. It really all comes down to finding truth. What is the truth? Because I'll tell you right now, a lot of what's in your head is BS. It ain't truth. And just being opening your mind to say, hey, wait a second. How truthful is this stuff? How good is this stuff? How much do I need this stuff? Is it a waste of my time? Quite honestly, I don't bash going to school and going to college and getting information in your mind, in your head, but don't ever shut down to the fact that what you're getting is, because you can only get what you're getting from the person who is giving it to you. And is the person who's giving it to you everything that you want to have be and do? Are you studying engineering because you want to be an engineer? Well, take for the fact that you're studying engineering from a teacher or a professor. They're not an engineer. Okay, so how much knowledge can they really give you? And after you leave school, or even while you're still in school, you should be challenging what they're giving you. Hey, how real is this? How much does this guy really know? I mean, yeah, I'm grateful. Give me the information. I'm going to take it all. I'll take all this information, but I'm going to check this information out for myself, and I'm going to draw my own opinions on what is real. And I'm going to take the real, and I'm going to move forward with the real, and I'm going to toss out the rest. I'm not just going to take it all in and say, oh, that's it. I got it all. This guy gave it to me all. I'm good. Done. Don't need to read another book the rest of my life. So with that, everybody, be grateful and be open-minded and continue to learn and grow and expand your mind and test the information that you get. You get information every day, and you know what the statistic is? That 90 or 88% of it is all negative. Do you really want to fall into the whole believer of 88% negative information, or do you want to start shutting out that negative information and start only believing the 12% of positive information so that you can start growing that into positivity? O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. Think about that prayer. It'll take you a long way. All right, everybody. Happy Freedom Friday. Go put on a Hawaiian shirt and make it a great day, and we'll see you back here on New Op Day. Enjoy your climax. By the way, that is the end of a strong session of 5 days. We don't put in 5 days of hard work so that we can have a weekend around here. All right, we put in 5 days of hard work so we can experience a climax or a pinnacle or celebration or whatever good feeling term you want to put on it. Stop having a weekend to 5 days of powerful work. All right, everybody, see you back here on New Op Day, because that's